Em, how are you doing today? It's Miguel, and let's see, it is the 28th of August, 2018, and it is approximately 9:35 p.m. Good evening. Hopefully, you're doing fine in your world. I just texted your mom inviting you to an outing sometime in the near future, maybe in about a week or so. Maybe we could go to the Spirits Halloween store here in Lompoc. It just opened up. The doors just opened. I think it's open till 9 o'clock p.m. And that's the place where people find costumes, where they can dress up for Halloween. I bought a few things there. Last year I bought a Harry Potter costume, complete with a scarf and also some glasses. And I also bought some face paint, and I painted my face to be like a zombie face, and I participated in the zombie walk. Yeah, I've been participating in the zombie walk here in Lompoc for a few years now, and I really enjoy it. And I'm inviting you to the Spirit Halloween store because, based on last year's photograph, I remember I saw a photograph that you texted me. You were dressed up as a clown. I mean, I think it was a sad clown or something like that. Um, and you created the costume that you wore, at least in part. I think I remember you saying you sewed your hat and you did your own makeup, and there were some other parts and pieces that you put together, you selected. I was really impressed when I saw that. I saw your artistic flair, your ability to sort of put your artistic creation together, using your skills. And, I was kind of blown away because that costume looked really good. It looked high quality, and I don't know, it was like something that someone would find in a movie theater or in a presentation for a play or a drama. So I was really impressed by it. And what that tells me is that you have an interest in creative design related to costuming. And I've got that same interest too. I've uh, I've created some costuming design, a pouch for my for this year's costume. I want to be one of Robin Hood's merry men, and I might get myself a cloak and maybe a green vest or something like that. Maybe some tights. I don't know. What do Robin Hood people wear? But I think we have this joint interest, this mutual interest in clothing design and fashion and style. And you've already proved to me that you have an eye for fashion and design, and I think I've got one. In fact, I've made some interesting changes to my own tennis shoes. Here's my tennis shoes, and notice, look what I've done to the shoelaces. That's not your typical crosswise shoelaces. These are barred shoelaces that go across. And what I did is I searched out a YouTube video that described how to make that design with your shoelaces. I found it, I put it on my shoes, and I've kept it there because I just like the styling. I like the fashion sense. It seems young and hip, and I like it. And I have a feeling that you might like things like that too. And so I want to invite you to the Spirit Halloween store so that we can explore the store. We can walk around and see if we can get any creative ideas for costumes that we can construct come our Halloween day, which is coming pretty soon. It's August 28th now, and October 31st is Halloween. So we have about 2 months to come up with our costumes. So I need all the help I can get. And if I can consult with a person who's interested in design and costuming, such as yourself, and maybe I can consult with you on ideas that you have or projects that you want to put together, let's do it. Let's do it. You know, that's something that we hold together, a skill and an interest that is shared. And I love having shared these shared values, these shared interests. They're what make the world go round. It could be a topic of conversation for us. We can talk about what our influences are and what our goals are and what our desires are for pulling together this next Halloween's costume. I'd be interested to know what your thoughts are about your costume that you want to put together. So, it's just nice to have that mutual interest. In a way, we're bonded that way. We're sort of, I don't know, we're connected. We're connected. We're connected in a lot of ways. We're connected by our genes, the genetic information that we have. You have 50% of my genetic information. So we're connected and bonded in that way. And then also, we've had shared history together. I've been with you since the very beginning, through you growing as an embryo in your mother's womb, and then you as a baby, and you as a toddler, and you, all the way up to age, say, 6 years old. I was there every day, working with you and enjoying your company. We've got that common historical connection. So we've got genes, we've got that common historical connection, and we have interests like design and who knows what other things we could find. I think there are a lot of similarities between you and I. We're bonded. There's a lot of ways in which we are inseparable. It's true that there is some physical distance between us right now, but there is a bond that remains and will remain for as long as we both live. That's tying us together. It's these family bonds, these blood bonds. We're connected. We're connected. And it's a tight connection, tight compared to other kinds of connections. And, I'd like to appreciate that. I'd like to acknowledge it. I'd like to recognize it, because it's important. I think it's important that we recognize how connected and bonded we are. I know sometimes in my letters, on occasion, I'll reference our separation and how odd it is. And, that's just part of the story. The separation that exists between us is we're really not that separated. We live in the same town. We live only about a mile away from one another. That's not that far. And we connect with each other on a regular basis through letters, at least twice a week, through text messages once or twice a week. We connect through photographs and through all kinds of other means. When there are events that happen in the world that relate to both of our interests, we're usually communicating. Let's say there's, in fact, during a few forest fires and fires near the city, we've been in communication. I also happen to know that we have a strong mutual interest in music. I love music and dancing, and I know you have a strong interest in music too, and I'm truly fascinated by the music artists that you like. I've been sampling a few of them. Thank you for sharing some of them with me. And I've really gotten to like Troye Sivan. He's become one of my favorite artists. And I listen to him and Ariana Grande all the time. And that is yet another way in which we're connected. So, I just want to emphasize a point that is not made all that often. We're family, we're blood, we're genetics. There's a connection there. It's a chemical connection, a genetic connection, a biological connection. We're also in physical proximity to one another in the same city, in the same small city. So anyway, I think you get what I'm trying to convey, and that is the larger picture, and also how we are bonded and connected, in more ways than one, and in ways which are very significant. Anyway, I'll move on. So, I am telling you about my invitation to the Spirit Halloween. And if you don't care to go, that's perfectly okay. You see, I'll be fine if you decide not to go. You probably have a lot of other things to do, and I respect that. It's totally okay. I just want to let you know about the acceptability of saying no. There'll be other times. I'm a very patient guy. And, at least I have a vision, a wish, a hope that sometime in the future we'll be closer, that at least physically closer. And you know what? I'm confident in that vision. I'm confident that it'll happen eventually. And, and you know what? Even if it doesn't happen, even if I'm mistaken, that's still okay. Because, beyond the technical difficulties of what's going on, there is a fact that's undeniable, and that fact is that I'm affecting you and you are affecting me. I am providing, relationships are really just information exchange. And we've been exchanging information for years. There's been all kinds of information exchange. In that respect, we have a solid relationship. I'm affecting you and you're affecting me. And in fact, in the subtle ways that you've affected me, those ways have really changed my life significantly. For example, I've got braces on. Part of that was an inspiration to support you in you having braces. Also, there was just a recognition that I would like to have straight teeth too. So, true, there were some desires of my own there for self-improvement, which existed. And I also wanted to work shoulder to shoulder with you. I wanted to have a common experience with you. I wanted to have a shared experience with you. And this is, I thought, a great way to do it. How we can share a significant experience, the experience of having braces. We could have some kind of shared reality where, we help each other out coping with the challenges related to having braces. And in fact, you may not know this, but I had recently sent you a gift of a water pick, which is a water flosser, to replace flossing with thread or dental floss. Now, the reason why I got turned on to water picks and water flossers was because using dental floss was too hard for a person with braces. So I did buy a water flosser and found that I loved it. That if flossing gave me this level of satisfaction, water flossing gave me this level of satisfaction. It was so much more enjoyable to floss with water than with dental floss. And it's so much more enjoyable that I wanted to share this knowledge to a person with a person who I loved and with a person who was sharing the experience of having braces with me, which is yourself. And so I went ahead and purchased a water pick for you. And I think tomorrow you'll be getting it in the mail, so that's pretty exciting. And I hope that you and your mom recognize how special the water pick is and how useful it is and how beneficial it will be to your dental health if you decide to use it. Now, I understand you may not care for it. You know, water picks are not for everybody. But I wanted to give you a chance to sample what a water pick feels like and its benefits for yourself. And I was willing to go on the edge and give you a present. So I hope you enjoy it. And I hope that you determine for yourself whether something like that it will fit into your life, whether it'll work for you or not. You know, and now's a great time for you to test it out because you've got braces. And, you know, what better time to test it out than now? I can't think of one. Braces are a real challenge for people who want to floss their teeth and get the food out from between their teeth. So anyway, I'm pretty excited about water flossing, and I'm hopeful that you might be interested in water flossing too. So, you know, again, if you choose to adopt that technology, so much the better. We have something else in common. We both enjoy water flossing. What do you know about that? And I also think that your mom, even if you don't care for it, I think your mom will go for it because your mom's always really been into dental health. And so I know that my gift will not go to waste, even if you decide not to use the water flosser. I'm pretty sure your mom or your stepdad will choose to use it instead because it really is quite a luxurious machine. I quite enjoy mine. So, you know, I think what I want to do is just wrap up this video, you know, expressing to you how much I appreciate you in my life. You know, I, as your father, love you. It's a fact. I love you. And I'm also committed to you and your well-being. Your well-being mentally and your well-being physically. I just bought you a water pick to support your dental health. And, you know, I want to be there in the future to continue to support you because I care for you, because you're important to me. And, you know, I'm not just an advocate for you and your best self. I'm an advocate for you and all of yourselves who you happen to be. You know, your authentic self. You don't have to change for me. You don't have to make a decision in my favor to get my approval. My appreciation and approval of you is unconditional. It is unconditional. And, you know, that's a decision I've made. I made it a long time ago. You know, you're 14 years old. I made that decision 15 years ago. And I have been committed to it ever since. So, what I'm trying to convey is that I love you and that you don't have to change. And that in a very substantial way, I am for you. I am for you. And I can only hope that as a result of my actions, you feel cared for. You know, I can't control how you feel. Only you can do that. You are responsible for how you feel, after all. And it is the result of only your decisions and your thinking process. But what I can do is I can do my best to support you in the outward ways that I can. Through money, through physical gifts, through psychological and mental support, and emotional support. You know, that's all I can do is do the best I can based on the knowledge that I have of your interests and desires and wishes and goals. You know, I can only do the best I can do. And when I do that, it just increases the probability that you will feel cared for. It does not guarantee that you will feel cared for. I regret that is the case, but there's nothing I can do about it. It is the nature of reality. It is the human condition. I can only give to you in the ways that I know how to give, based on the current level of knowledge I have about you and your interests. And I am doing that to the best of my ability. Truly, I am doing that to the best of my ability. And so on a scale of 1 to 10, in my efforts to support you physically, financially, and emotionally, I'm pushing really hard to get a good grade. Easily, in my evaluation, a 9 or even a 10. I know, because it's the best I know how to do. And I'm also open to adjustments. You know, if I need to recalibrate, or to change direction, or to vector my efforts in a particular way as opposed to another, I am open to that information. And that correction will be valued. So it would be, in fact, it would be a gift. Any kind of communication that would convey a correction would be a gift to me, and to help me in my efforts to support you and to love you in a more full way. Okay, girl. I just want to say I love you. You're right here in my heart. Peace. And I love you.